Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Speed Souls Charity Marathon 2022, benefiting Save the Children. My name is Sam Without a Plan, and I'll be your host for the next few runs. But right now, we have a special run of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Shura Unrestricted, with Mitchriz.
Yes, hello everybody. I am Mitchriz. I'm going to be running this category, which is the fastest ending with no restrictions, tons of glitches, going to be flying around. It's going to be a ton of fun. Here with me, I have my commentators, Passiflora. Say hi, Passy. Maybe? Oh, I'm sure as he's figuring that out. We also have Holm GG. Maybe? Hey. Can they hear me? Can I hear them?
Hello?
There we go. All right, we've at least got home. Not sure. There might be a little technical issue for Passy. We'll have to see about that. And yeah, so here we have our Sekiro. We'll go ahead and start it up. Time can just start as I hit new game here. And we'll get right into it and explain things as we go. So time will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Sorry for the silence, everyone. I am here.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
Yep, it happens. All right, so as we get into the tutorial, first thing we're going to notice is that I'm going to be jumping and not sprinting. And Holm, do you want to explain why that is?
Yeah, so before here at the start that we're kind of left stranded without any items, and actually the game doesn't let you run unless you have the sword. So that's gonna be the first thing that we are gonna do, get the sword. And so before that, we're gonna be jumping and kicking, or alternatively grabbing in the air, and that's gonna be the fastest way to move unless we're sprinting.
And as we come up here into Kuro, there's some dialogue we have to get through, but I've actually turned the subtitles off, which allows us to skip through some of the dialogue. It's very weird. We don't really know why turning off subtitles lets you skip some dialogue, but hey, we'll take it. Makes it faster.
And it only took us 2 years to discover it.
Yeah, actually, Passy was kind of the catalyst. He was playing around with different languages for the subtitles themselves, and then finally someone in my chat said, well, if different languages are faster, what if you have no language? What if you just turn them off? And that turned out to be the key.
So obviously for most other categories, we can just run past Yamauchi right there. He's not needed.
And we are picking up an Ash there for a little glitch we're going to do later to instantly kill the corrupted monk. Or, sorry, not glitch, but, you know, cheesy kill. And as we come up to Genichiro, there is actually no benefit whatsoever to actually killing him. You still get the same cutscene and have to continue on with the game, so we just die as fast as we can. Finally gives us the shinobi prosthetic so that we can grapple around.
There again, we were in like a temple or holy place area where the game only allows us to jump again, so we do that a bit to save some time.
Ooh, I got the swag jump. Let's go. There's
Well done.
Little jumps that you can do that are not quite frame perfect, but a short window. And if you get them, you can avoid having to grapple. Saves like half a second at most, but we do it for the swag.
It's a small introduction to delayed jumps, which we got coming up to arguably one of the hardest skips in the entire run.
Oh yeah, Passy, please explain the ogre skip as I'm trying to do it. Because this is
so for delayed jumps,
perfect.
Delayed jumps are practically frame perfect, and it uses coyote timing. If you've ever heard of coyote timing? You have to jump pretty much as soon as you are leaving the ledge.
Oh, it's so hard to get the frame. Okay, gonna have to take a little loop to get ogre off me here, because he will definitely mess me up as I'm trying to do this. Oh no. Yeah, basically we have to jump on the exact same frame as we're falling off of a ledge. There we go. And if we do that, we can keep all of our speed that normally gets eaten up whenever you do a jump. And with that, we have just enough speed to make it to the other side. Super tough. I think it's frame perfect, but we're not 100% sure. There's a difference between like the tick rate of the game and the actual frames that you see on screen. So it's possible that it might be, you know, a 40th of a second instead of a 60th or something weird. There is another one of those we could do.
Oops.
Yeah, all good. There's another one of those we could do right here, but I am not going to do that in a marathon setting where it only saves like 7 seconds if I get it right.
Yeah, the elusive double canyon skip is probably reserved for world record attempts only.
And if you're just starting out in Sekiro speedruns, I would highly recommend just completely avoiding the canyon skip.
Honestly,
It's
I've
really
had
just
some,
not worth going for at the start.
Yeah, I've had some even world records where I've just chosen not to do it because the world record at some points in time hasn't been optimized enough that it needs it. So if going for world record, I sometimes choose not to do it. Please don't try it yourself if you're learning the category.
We're gonna grab another ash up here for an later cheese. And Mitch is gonna take a specific path here to bait Gyobu into not destroying the tower right away because we need it.
Another delayed jump there. That one's a lot easier. That one has a much more generous window. It is still a bit tough, but at least not frame perfect, so I'm able to get that one first try.
Now, if all goes well, Gyobu should run straight off the cliff and die.
If he does not, we don't get his memory, which is going to lose us some attack power and make the run about 30 seconds to a minute slower. But hey, we got lucky.
Let's go.
And we grabbed an Akko sugar there for a couple upcoming fights for more attack power.
Yep, another skip here, the bull skip. Pretty easy, but we can just go out of bounds around the bull and completely skip the fight here.
Yeah, and there was actually another variation of bull skip a long time ago, but it got patched. But then we found a faster bull skip instead. So.
Speaking of patches, this is actually run on the current patch of the game, so everything you see here, you could try at home. You don't have to down patch or anything. Some runners do choose to down patch anyway, but it's for very, very minor things like half a second here and there. It's not really going to make or break the run. For Lone Shadow, I'm going to try to circle around him and do what's called a dead angle. Basically, if you're locked off and you're not looking directly at the enemy, sometimes they will just not block your attacks. And that's a little faster than having them block your attacks.
Yeah, that heavily abuses the fact that most enemies in this game get staggered in one hit because they are designed to use their guard mechanic as their primary line of defense. So you can kind of keep them in a loop where they can't fight back when you're dead angling them.
Yeah, we'll see that a few more times coming up, including on the next little mini-boss fight of Snake Eyes and later on Genichiro. For Snake Eyes, there's some interesting little bit of like movement that we have to do to make sure that we don't get shot by a gunner here that's going to try to see us. But if we get him to partially see us early through taking a specific path here, and then as we fight Snake Eyes, if we look at the gunner, then he will just ignore us. So right here, I'm going to lock off, and as I do the dead angle, I'm just going to stare at that gunner.
Just gotta Giga Chad stare him down.
Yep.
And obviously, here's more dead angling as seen on the Lone Shadow fight. It's a little
Unlike
easier
Lone
here
Shadow.
because you can just trap her in a corner.
Yes. Which makes it quite a bit easier, but also she has a grab, which has hyper armor, super armor. I don't remember the correct term. One of those two. But the point being that you have to deflect that grab. And yes, even though it's a grab and gives you the danger symbol, that one is deflectable, just not blockable.
Something to be noted is that by now we have done our first like routing choice, which is going to Hidden Forest to go to the area where the Corrupted Monk is. The Corrupted Monk is gonna drop us an ability that lets us swim, which is gonna let us do some pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get pretty broken in this run for sure.
So in case you're not completely up to speed with the Sekiro speedruns, it's gonna let us perform something called the air swim, which is gonna be how we're gonna get around the map for pretty much the rest of the run. By going here first, it lets us cut out a lot of other areas where we would need to go through the entire area, and instead we can go to sort of take a short path to the end by using how the world is like laid out.
And finally made it through the hardest boss in the game, that Miss Noble.
Well
So glad
done.
I got through first try. That was a tough one. And up here, we're going to grab some confetti. We're going to use that on Genichiro. Confetti adds health damage, even on non-ghost enemies. A little known fact. It says it only works on apparitions, but it actually does add some health damage on all enemies. And since we're going to kill Genichiro's first two phases via health, it's going to make it a little faster.
We're gonna do all of our menuing for the rest of the run coming up.
Yep,
Yeah,
pausing
and
loses
then-
some time, so we want to do it all at once.
Then we're gonna do some funky pathing here to get us far into the boss arena here that we can without her spawning in. And then we're gonna use our consumables to stagger her slightly back. And at this moment she hasn't seen us yet. And we'll go in for a sneaky little stealth death blow.
And he got before Ash. Well done.
Yeah, that is the world record strat. Not recommended for beginners, but it's actually pretty consistent once you get it down. So I feel comfortable doing it in a marathon. And the Shelter Stone is one of the 3 key items that we're going to need in order to be able to go to the ending. The other 2, we're now going to basically air swim there, but we have one more thing to clean up first. We have to kill Genichiro. He is unfortunately not optional. And after that, we're going to collect the other 2 important items. Coming up on our first air swim, basically what we're going to do is we're going to get out of bounds and find a body of water out of bounds. So I go out of bounds here. There's just a little hole in the wall. Go into this body of water, start swimming, and now I can just swim wherever I want. It's really that simple. Any body of water out of bounds.
This right here is what makes this run so incredibly fast, is air swimming.
Yeah, there is a version of the run without the air swim. It's about 3 minutes slower.
And we'll use more dead angling to completely wipe out his first 2 phases here. And since we got the confetti, we are doing extra chip damage / health damage.
And you might notice that on the 5th hit, we're turning. That is because, as you might notice if you've seen the game before, the wolves' attacks are in pairs of 5, and they all have different sort of hitboxes. And because the dead angle is so dependent on the hitboxes or where you're facing, you kind of need to turn a bit to make the last one connect.
Here we're on our last phase of Guinea. The goal is to get as much lightnings as possible. Best you can get is 2. Here's 1.
Doesn't look like we'll get a second one, but
No second.
you can stay very aggressive on Guinea. Oh, that's unfortunate. Shouldn't have spoke.
Yeah, that thrust can be tricky. He has insane tracking on that thrust.
Normally you would Mikiri counter the thrust, but we do not pick up the skill book for Mikiri counter, so our only options are to dodge it or to deflect it. I tried to dodge it, unfortunately did not quite work.
Nice fight, nonetheless. I was gonna go for a cutscene skip here. If you time in 6 swings, then jump over this door while you're in the air and mash, you can actually get a faster cutscene skip, which we unfortunately didn't get. But
Didn't quite get it. It's only faster by about a second anyway.
There's our second attack power upgrade.
Normally there we would have done a bunch of dialogue, but because we're gonna be skipping pretty much everything, we don't need to do any of the dialogue after the very start of the game, and of course for the very ending boss fight.
And so our second air swim here, this is actually the big one that saves a lot of time. The previous air swim just saved us climbing up the castle, so, you know, maybe like a couple seconds of time saved. It's just a little faster, but this one here, we get to go straight to Senpo and skip a whole lot of walking.
You'll notice he's loading in these areas first, though, because you have to load in these areas in order to actually get into Senpo.
Yeah, if you try to go straight there, it'll just kill you. If you try to load in an area that's too far from your current area, game will not allow that. So I have to load it in piece by piece. That's why I'm swimming in those very specific places. Also, this quit out at the elevator is special. It's counts as both in the dungeon and in Senpo. So if I quit out in the elevator, it will load in Senpo.
And boom, we are in Senpo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we've got an aggro chain, where basically as soon as you enter combat, the game saves your position where you entered combat. And if you quit out while you're still in combat, it will put you back into that position. So I'm going to abuse that by trying to stay in combat, get some dogs to notice me. And then when I quit out, I'm going to be back in that air swimming state, even though I have grabbed this idol here.
Good doggo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if the dog chases you up there, you can actually get booted out of the idol quicker, resulting in a faster quit out.
That actually can't happen on 1.06.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, which is the version I'm playing on. That is, by the way, the half-a-second time save I was talking about for the down patching. If you really want the dog to boot you out, you got to down patch, but for a marathon, I'm not so worried about that.
Here you see us skipping just an entire section of the game with the air swim by using some of the world, like how the stuff is placed in the world.
Oh, got it. Okay, that was the scariest part of the run.
Well done.
It is a jump over nothingness, and if you fall, it's like 3 minutes lost to get back here. We would have to redo the entire air swim.
Unfortunately, you can't quit out while you're falling, so you have to watch him fall for about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Well done on the ape skip.
All right, now we come up on the scariest part of the run for a world record level speedrun, the monkey skip. Yet another frame perfect, or close to it, delayed jump plus a precise wall jump afterwards, it's really, really tough.
Undoubtedly the hardest skip in the entire run. It takes an absurd amount of practice to even get it like relatively consistent.
And it's right at the end of the run. You've done all this work, and it can just be taken from you.
So not only is getting the delayed jump here super difficult, but you also have to get a perfect wall jump in order to actually make it to the roof.
Point. There we go.
Nice.
All right. And we do this so that we can skip fighting the folding screen monkeys and instead go straight to the Mortal Blade right here.
Now we have kind of collected all the things that we need to get the final ending.
And as we warp back here, we're actually going to get sent to an idol that we never picked up, but the game automatically gives you once you get all 3 of the important items. So that way you're never locked out of getting back to Ashina Castle. It automatically gives you this idol.
We're gonna air swim one last time to get up to Emma and Ishin, our last boss fight.
Oops. There's a lot of invisible walls on this path, and unfortunately I hit one of them. But no worries, made my way around it. And so Emma's a very interesting boss where the most consistent way to fight her is just going to be to attack her once and then deflect what she does. So that's what I'm going to do here. It's kind of the safest strat. It's pretty fast, but not necessarily the fastest.
It's a very RNG dependent fight because she can bank off, and when she does that, you know, you're not fighting her, but she will also regen a bit of posture.
Nice.
Super clean Emma.
And at the very end, I jump off of her head. It actually speeds up the ending sort of cutscene of killing her quite a bit. But don't worry, she's fine. See, she's right there. Another thrust that I have to just dodge because I don't have Mikiri counter.
Now here for phase 2, we're pretty much just gonna mortal draw him into oblivion.
Yeah, Mortal Draw is very strong on current patch.
It's able to cancel him out of pretty much anything he throws at us.
Oh, unfortunate. The wall made him turn the other direction.
Yeah, this wall has messed us up more times than we can count.
Yeah. But still not too bad. Took a death, but you know what they say
Great
about
run.
shadows.
GG.
Yo, thank you. All right, and time will be once the credits actually pop up here. And ready. Time.
GG.
All right, awesome, awesome. Very happy with that run. You know, a couple of little things go wrong, but it's a very fast, very stylish run. Absolutely love this game and the community around Sekiro, so big shouts out to the Sekiro speedrunning community. We've got a Discord server you can join if you're looking for help, if you're looking to learn the run. Yeah, Also, look forward to, I'm going to be doing this same run later in the marathon, but with a blindfold on. So look forward to that. And shout outs, thank you to my commentators, Passy and Holm. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And
was a
of
pleasure.
course, thank you to the marathon for having me, letting me show off this awesome game that I love so much, especially the speedruns. I think it's so awesome. And of course, raising money for an amazing cause. So keep up the good work. All of you out there as well, all of you in chat with your donations. And yeah, let me just throw it back on over to the host and we can continue on with this marathon. Thank you guys for having me. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so much, Mitch. What a wonderful run. Many claps in the chat. We are going to be setting up for our next run here. So just want to remind everyone that we are raising money for Save the Children. So get your donations in right now.